Hello there guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well today. This is probably the first time where I do more reaction to the previous Chelsea game because normally I do the match reaction, then I don't talk about it more. But with this kind of situation that we're in, I just wanted to do like more reaction and a few talking points of why I think that Graham Potter should leave the club and should be sacked. I don't think you can sack him, but at least terminate his contract and resign right now. That's what this video is going to talk about. The reason why I want Graham Potter to resign, terminate his contract, and leave the club because there are so many. I'm not sure how long this video will be, so you have to forgive me, but I have to do this because we're today's the 20th of February as I'm recording this right now. To at this video, today's the 20th of February 2023, and we're nearly in March, which is tomorrow. And Chelsea haven't changed because we still cannot score goals under Graham Potter. We still cannot win games, and he's still making up excuses in his post-interview, in his press conferences. Comparing him to Mikel Arteta, to Jurgen Klopp, and all that stuff. The only thing I will feel sorry for him is the death threats. I know I keep talking about this, but I really hope that this is the last time I'm going to say this because if I ever see the Chelsea fans doing it again, then I'm not going to say this again. I'm not going to talk about this again because they need to watch that video again. Whoever says that, because talk about football, not personal. If you want to say that, or you hate Graham Potter, you wish he wasn't a manager for Chelsea, then that's fine. Then that's football. That's how it is. But if you make it personal and make worse ways saying that I'm gonna kill you and your kids, I wish you would die, then that's even worse. Yeah, that is breaking the law, and you can go straight to jail, and you can be banned for life. So I really hope that Graham Potter, since he's still going to be the Chelsea manager, I hope that when he goes to the press conference this Friday, I hope we don't hear any more death threats. Otherwise, I don't know what our fan base is like. It's just toxic. Like, it just needs to come together. We support one club, which is Chelsea Football Club, so we need to stick together. If all of us are Graham Potter out, then that's what it is. If some of them want to be Graham Potter in, that's fine. But just don't do anything stupid, man. Don't just make Chelsea the only club who is toxic and just doesn't do anything great. So please prove everyone wrong. Just support one another, love one another, and just don't do anything stupid. All right, that is it. That is it. So that's all I've got to say. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I want Graham Potter to go, the ridiculous stats, who I think the next manager should be, and yeah, that's probably it. So yeah, I'm not sure how many points there were, so just let me know how many points I did. If it's like um 5 or more, then it's a lot. But listen, we're going through a bad water already, so there's so many talking points. So let me go for the obvious one. Like I said before, the reason why Graham Potter to go is because he's not getting the best out of these players. Now, let's be real for a second. These players are not that bad. The likes of Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Aubameyang, Koulibaly, Kukureya, Wesley Fofana, Kovacic, you know, Sterling, Hakim Ziyech, Felix, Kante. They are not bad players. But the reason why we're in this situation is because of Graham Potter. Like, every single game, he keeps making changes after changes after changes. Not going, he's not picking his best starting 11. And when he does, the next game he would change. The next game he would change. Like, It just doesn't make any sense. And to me, like, the players don't want to play for him. They just don't care about Graham Potter. They want him gone. And I don't blame them because once the players are not playing for you, that means you're under pressure and you could be sacked and you could leave the club, you know? So I really hope that Graham Potter sees that. He needs to understand that this job is too big for him. He's not getting the best out of these players. He's not allowed them to score that much and not be aggressive enough. All he does when we go down, he always folds his arms. He's not furious. He's not angry enough. He's not telling the players like, listen, we need to win this game. Go out there, put in a better performance, and don't concede silly goals. But guess what? He just stands there and do nothing. That is not what elite clubs do. Look at Pep Guardiola. If he goes the game against Tottenham in the Etihad last month, when these teams were 2-0 down, do you see him folding his arms and saying nothing? No. Even though he didn't say nothing, at least his face shows you that he wasn't happy. He was so angry. And I know in the dressing room, he was screaming and shouting at his players and this is not good enough, yeah? If we want to be in the title race, we got to do better in the second half than we did in the first half. So go on there and put in a much better performance. Otherwise, I'm disappointed in all of you. And guess what? They scored 4 goals to win that game. I don't go to the dressing room, but I know at half time, Graham Potter just says, just speak softly. He's not angry enough. He's not furious enough. You know, this is why he's not an elite manager. Because you will never be better than Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, Eric Ten Hag, Thomas Tuchel, and all that stuff. He doesn't care. And I'm really starting to worry for Graham Potter. Like, in order for him to stay on his job, he really got to turn this thing around. You know, all of us Chelsea fans don't want Chelsea to win every single game. I don't. Well, I would love to, but that's impossible to win every single game. But all of us fans want is see much better performances, you know, try at least score goals in every single game, and try and put in a better performance. Like, even though we lose, like, say, 1-0, 3-2, or something like that, and put in a much better performance, then I would like that. Look at what happened to Real Madrid last season on Thomas Tuchel in the second leg. I was truly heartbroken, but I was part of the team, yeah? Because we tried our best, what Thomas Tuchel said, but the better team won. And even Mudryk said that this Chelsea team is difficult to beat. Well, guess what? Thomas Tuchel ain't here, and Graham Potter is the manager. There's a difference between elite and not elite. Elite managers makes teams difficult to not beat. Look at Eric Ten Hag. Against the top 6 so far, beaten Arsenal at Old Trafford, drew Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, beating Pep Guardiola at Old Trafford, beating Liverpool at Old Trafford, beating Tottenham at Old Trafford. Yeah? And he got the best out of players such as Rashford, you know, Casemiro, and all that stuff. Even Bruno Fernandes too. Rashford gets a little bit of form. You know, Weghorst, he may not score goals, but at least he's trying. Luke Shaw too. Wan-Bissaka, he's getting the best out of these players. He's acting like Thomas Tuchel from last season. You know why? It's because he's an elite manager. He knows how to win games. Look what happened on Sunday. Got Man United to win the Carabao Cup. And he knows there's a better chance that they could win another one because I don't think they'll win the title. But guess what? I still think they have a chance of winning the Europa League the way they beat Barcelona and even the FA Cup too. And you know that, and that tells you that Eric Ten Hag not only cares about Man United, but taking them to the next level, which is winning trophies and being in title ways. That's what elite clubs managers do. Whereas for Graham Potter, it looks like he cares for Chinese football club, but he doesn't. He really don't. And that's what worries me. And that's why I put the blame on Todd Body too. Because sacking Thomas Tuchel this early and bringing Graham Potter was wrong because Brighton are nowhere near the same level as Chelsea. They haven't won anything in their history. We have. We have, such as Premier Leagues, Champions League, Europa League, FIFA Club World Cup, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We have won more trophies than Brighton. But the reason why we're not winning everything this season is because of Todd Bowley spending all this money, 600 million, yeah, to make Chelsea not to make Chelsea worse and to bring in Graham Potter too. So he takes the blame as well. He takes it. Because if Thomas Tuchel was here, I still think we'll struggle, but we would never be bad as this. He will still know, he will still do well in the Champions League. The FA Cup, I'm not sure if he can take us to the final. The same thing for the Carabao Cup. I'm not sure the top four, but maybe the Champions League, he can maybe try it again. Because we were this close to being in the semi-final, but we bottled that one. So maybe he could have done it again this season. But instead he sacked. He was sacked by Todd Bowley in September before the Queen has died. So I knew that when Graham Potter came in, I knew that Todd Bowley made a huge mistake, and this team is going to get worse and worse and worse. And this is why I had to question him. Can he take us to the next level? I'm worried. Can he really be the best manager for Chelsea in history? Can he be better than Antonio Conte, Thomas Tuchel, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, and all that stuff? And I knew he wouldn't, because going to Brighton, to Chelsea, is a totally different matter. For Brighton, their aim is to finish in the top 10, not below that, being in the mid-table. For Chelsea, it's totally different. Totally different. The expectation for Chelsea is to be in the title race, make sure you definitely finish in the top four, and win a trophy. Yeah? And maybe try and do one in the Champions League too. That's our aim. So I really hope that Graham Potter thinks to himself, why did I come to Chelsea? He should have known that Chelsea expectation is totally different than Brighton. He should know that. Because every season, all we want is win trophies, finish in the top four. That is it. That is it. And do one in the Premier League, which has been the title race. That's all we want. Because the last time we've won the Premier League title was 6 years ago under Antonio Conte. And remember, he was the interim manager for Chelsea when Jose Mourinho got sacked. And I was shocked. I was really because I feel like he should have been given time. But I was shocked by that. So he took it from 17th to 10th. And then what will happen next season? Won us the league. So this season is going to be the second time in our history we haven't played in Europe. And do I think next season we're going to win the title? No. Because if Graham Potter still remains at the club, it's going to be the same old, same old. We're going to keep on struggling, we're going to keep on losing, and we'll keep on not going to score goals every single time and concede silly goals. So the only way I see Chelsea turning things around is for Graham Potter to leave the club, resign, terminate his contract, and try and bring an interim manager who can perhaps make Chelsea win games, not all the time, but try and make Chelsea feel better, because we should be better than this. We're not a mid-table. We should be in the title race, maybe try going to the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, do one in Champions League. We should be like that. We shouldn't be below Brentford, Fulham, and Brighton. No offense to them. We should not be below them. But the reason why we are is because we're losing games, and Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford are playing better football and scoring more goals than Chelsea. Like, can you believe this? It doesn't make any sense. It really don't. So that's why I want Graham Potter to go, because he's not getting the best out of these players. The press conference is making excuses, like turning up late because of Christ Mason, blaming Thomas Tuchel for the bad preseason and all that stuff. And his post-match interview is really getting beyond me. The only thing I can agree on is that he said he takes responsibility of this team losing. It's my fault that we've lost, which is fine. But the rest of it is shocking. Like, saying like, look what happened to Mikel Arteta 2 seasons ago. The fans wanted him out. He was getting close to this relegation form, yeah? And look what's happened. They gave him time and look at where they are. We should be like that. But Chelsea is different than Arsenal. Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea, but ever since Roman Abramovich came in, we've been more successful than them. We have been. Arsenal haven't won a European trophy in their history. They've been to final, such as the Champions League final in 2006, I believe. The Europa League final in 2019, but they haven't won. But they're still bigger than us because they've won more trophies than us. Yeah? And does he not forget that Mikel Arteta in his first season won the FA Cup, beating Man City in the semi-final and beating Chelsea in the final, and then beating Liverpool on penalties 5-3 in the Community Shield during the coronavirus? Like, does he not realise that? That's what gave him time, because they still believe in Mikel Arteta. He won them the trophy. And without the FA Cup, Arsenal would not be in Europe. And he probably would have got sacked when he finished 8th. But the reason why they gave him confidence is because of that FA Cup. He won something for Arsenal in his first season. That's what gave him time. For Graham Potter, he's doing totally different. And let's not forget, yes, I know that Arsenal during the Christmas period were close to the relegation zone. But listen, their stats weren't worse than ours. You know, I know that at the start of November they lost against Aston Villa, lost against Burnley, Everton, and all that stuff. But when they face Chelsea, they've won. Then the next game they beat West Brom. Then the next game they've won. So that's why I'm telling you that their record is not worse. It's not worse. And guess what? They were this close to finish in the to be in the final, but they bottled that one. So that tells you the difference between Mikel Arteta and Graham Potter. Arteta won a trophy in his first season and got given time. And guess what he did? He got rid of dead wood players and signed in players who can fit in his system. And it worked because they were in the title race. And they're still in the Europa League too. Yes, of course, they're out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, but they still have a chance. I feel like Arsenal may win the league this season. I feel like they will do it because they're playing much better football. Yes, the game against Leicester wasn't too impressive, but a win is a win. If you win, then you can be happy. And like I said, I don't Chelsea to win every single game, but just do what Arsenal did, you know? Get rid of deadwood players, bring in the players that will fit Graham Potter's system, you know? Because I know he likes to go to a 4-2-3-1. So if he wants to go for formation, then Todd Bowley, the recruitment, and him need to bring the players that will fit in Graham Potter's system and get rid of the deadwood players, such as Aspilicueta, Loftus-Cheek, Kai Havertz, Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, and all that stuff. Sell them, bring in the players that will fit in Graham Potter's system, and then you'll see that he will become like Mikel Arteta. That's the only way it works. But if Graham Potter doesn't do what Mikel Arteta did, then you cannot bring him up every single time because he will still be better than you. He's already been better than you, and he will be better than you unless you can be better than him. But you can't because you still aren't the manager that can take us anywhere forward. We're so far backwards rather than forwards. I just knew when Graham Potter came in that he's not going to take us anywhere. This job is too big for him. And that's why I want him sacked. Because he would never, ever take Chelsea anywhere forward. And he's the worst manager in history. His win percentage for Chelsea Football Club is 29. Below 30, you know. Below 30. That is absolutely unbelievable. So he's the worst manager in Chelsea's history. And like I said, this is going to Todd Bowley for bringing him and sacking Thomas Tuchel for this. If Todd Bowley actually cares and don't want the fans to protest and want him gone, then he should do the right thing. Sack Graham Potter, bring in an interim manager, And next season, bring in a manager, yeah, that will make Chelsea, you know, make a massive rebuild, you know, get rid of Deadwood, sign these players, getting the best out of these players. And then you'll see Todd Bowley that the fans will praise you. Because I know that you came from American sport, but listen, you need to realize that this is a proper football. In American sport, or basketball, you don't get relegated. So if you're 14, 15, or 16, you don't get relegated. But in real football, in Europe, you do get relegated if you're 17th, 18th, or 19th, or 20th. You do get relegated. So that's what Tobani needs to realize. So he needs to realize that Chelsea are too big to get relegated. Because no Big Six club in the Premier League history has ever been relegated. No Big Six team at all. So if Todd Bowley wants to make Chelsea the greatest team and the top team to beat, then sack Graham Potter, get an interim manager, then when the season is over, get rid of the players that I mentioned, bring in the players that will fit in the new manager system, and then you'll see a change. But if he still sticks with Graham Potter and still sticks these players for next season, things are gonna get worse before it gets better. I can assure you that. It will get worse. So Todd Bowley, I know you don't watch this video, but if you do, just do the right thing. Just not sack Graham Potter, resign, terminate his contract, call him and tell him to leave the club. Because he ain't it. He's tactically led and he's out of his depth. And he will nowhere near be the best manager. He will nowhere near. He's worse than Lampard. He's worse than Tuchel, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti. Sarri too. He is much worse than these managers in the previous. So that's why I want him gone. Because the next game is against Leeds. And he said, and Graham Potter could be potentially sacked next week. Well, he should have been sacked after the Southampton game. Or, let me put it this way, he should have not been the Chelsea manager in the first place. Thomas Tuchel should have never got been sacked, and Graham Potter should have never, ever been chosen as the next Chelsea manager. He should have never. So this all on Todd Bowley. Listen, people make mistakes. I make mistakes. You know, sometimes I lie, accidentally. I hold my hands up to anybody and say, listen, I made the mistake. I should have lied. I'm so sorry. I promise it will never again. People make mistakes. I make mistakes. You guys watching right now make mistakes. We all do. And what do? We learn from it. And next time, we don't do what we did before. And that's what Todd Bowley needs to say to himself. Because with this kind of situation, he needs to say to himself, you know what? I don't know why I sacked Thomas Tuchel. Graham Potter is nowhere getting near what the fans expect him to do. I wish I never sacked him. I really do apologize. If Todd Bowley says that, then we all praise him. But if he doesn't, then he's going to get most of the most hatred by Chelsea fans, and there will be a banner saying, we want Bowley out, so we want Bowley out. You know? So Todd Bowley, be warned. Do the right thing. If you want the fans to praise you and not make you leave, then do the right thing. Sack Graham Potter, bring in the interim manager, get rid of the dead wood, and then bring in a new manager, that will get the best out of these players and do what the Chelsea fans expect the manager to do. But if not, you're on your own. You're on your own, and no one's there to help you. So either do the right thing or you're in trouble, Todd Bowley. So there you go. So those are the main talking points why I'm Graham Potter to sack. Another reason, the Tottenham game. Like I said, keep on making changes. The substitutes will work again. You're 1-0 down, and your first up is Mason Mount. Where it should have been Madueke, Mudryk, maybe Aubameyang. But instead it's Mason Mount. That is poor tactical management. Poor management from Graham Potter. And guess what? He makes it worse. Aubameyang and Mudryk was about to come on. They was about to come on. But guess what happened? After 2-0 down, he brings on Mudryk and Aubameyang instead of either doing it at half time or doing when you're 1-0 down, which makes it even worse. Which makes it worse. So, what kind of manager, yeah, doesn't bring in attacking players when you're 1-0 down? Because 2-0 down in the 80th minute is game over. Absolutely game over. And I know it as well. So there you go. So this is what I meant by poor tactical manager from Graham Potter. He doesn't know how to get the best out of these players. He doesn't want to bring on the substitutes at the right time. He just does nothing. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So this is why I want Graham Potter to go. Because he just cannot do it for Chelsea. He's not it. And he will never take anywhere forward for Chelsea. He'll keep on going backwards, 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 losing, 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 not scoring every single game. And it's not good enough. So there's another reason. And a final reason before I end this video is I look at the stats here and it's not great. It's not great. Let me read the one for One Football and then I'll do the one for ESPN. There's so many. There's 10 of them. I'm not going to read everything, but I'm just going to tell you the most important ones. So number one, Man City have won more Chelsea games 3 times than Chelsea 2 since November the 6th, which is true. Because Man City have beaten Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, 2-0 at the Etihad in November. Then in the Premier League, November the 1st, in this year, and then in the FA Cup next third round at the Etihad 4-0. So you've won 2 games in the last 15, where Man City have won 3 games out of 3 against Chelsea. What does that tell you? Bad, bad, and relegation form. Yeah. Chelsea are the lowest goal scorers in the top half of the Premier League, and it's not even close. We've scored 23 goals, and we conceded 25. And look at that, which is 12 goals shy of Newcastle, which have 35 goals and a game in hand. We've got a game in hand too. Newcastle scoring more goals than Chelsea. And I know also another stat. Erling Haaland have scored more goals for Man City than the whole Chelsea squad. He has scored 27, while we scored 23. The season not over, and Erling Haaland scored more goals than Chelsea. And let me tell you something, yeah. Man City have also scored more goals in Chelsea games 5 than Chelsea 4 in 2023. This is not good. This is not good, yeah. As well as every team in the top half, Chelsea's haul this season is also less of Aston Villa, Leicester, Leeds, and Erling Haaland. Teams that are below us have scored more goals than Chelsea, and I also mentioned Erling Haaland. It's the same as 16th place West Ham and one more than 19th place Bournemouth. Yeah? And last Sunday's 2-0 defeat at Tottenham means Chelsea have received half as many goals this season as Spurs, who've made themselves quite utter rubbish. There you go. So even though Spurs play rubbish football, they still score twice more goals than Chelsea. So there you go. I've got another one. And Chelsea was in front of all cannot be externally aptitude to simple failure to take chances. They're up to a proof of total 31 big chances is distinctly mid-table. We're in 10th and we're mid-table. So there you go. 31 big chances for Chelsea under Graham Potter. There you go. And there's another one. Chelsea have ranked 13th for goals scored 0.96, less than 1. 13th, yeah? 10th, the total shots of 11.7, yeah? 12th for shots on target 3.75. 14th of XG 1.18. And 15th for actual minus goal difference minus 2.02. This is pure relegation, yeah? 13th, 10th, 12th, 14th, and 15th. Not even above 10th. This is mid-table or pure relegation. So there you go. Another one. Chelsea are also 14th for shot on target percentage 32 and 15 shots per shot 0.07. Pure relegation, like I told you. Worse this season, and I told you guys about a month ago, this season will be worse than the 2015 to 16 season. And our straight of form is even worse than during the 1995 season. So this is what I'm telling you before, that Graham Potter is the worst manager for Chelsea. He really is. Here's another one. In those goals, the 6 goals that we scored since November the 6th, guess who's the leading goal scorer? Kai Havertz. He scored 2 goals in those 6 goals that we scored during November the 6th. Bournemouth, which we've won, and Crystal Palace, which we've won and kept a clean sheet. In the last 2 months, we scored 4 goals. Since November the 6th, we scored 6 goals, which is less than any other team. Yeah, even the Championship teams have scored more goals. The League One, the League Two, even teams below us. Yeah, in the that are that teams that we don't even know, they have scored more goals than us since November. We've only scored 6. Only 6 goals in 16 games since November the 6th. What does that tell you? You pure lack a goal. And that's got to be either 18th, sorry, 17th when it comes to scoring goals. Unbelievable. Yeah, let that sink in. And here's another one. Oh, I've got to do this quickly. Chelsea, fourth highest goal scorer this season, plays for Arsenal. Although disregard and disregard only, Chelsea are least better off than Brighton, who is high goal scoring this season, plays for Arsenal. And guess who it is? Jorginho, I think. Well, I don't know. This season plays for Arsenal. Yeah, it must be Jorginho or something like that. I don't know. But there you go. If it is Jorginho, this is why he shouldn't be left the club. Even though I want him gone, his contract ends in summer. So I would have given Jorginho the chance, but instead we sold him to Arsenal. And he's making Arsenal better. So there you go. So thank you, Graham Potter, the recruitment and top body for that. Absolutely dickheads. Here's another one. On in Manchester City, Arsenal had more touches of the ball in the attacking third of the pitch than Chelsea. Man City had 5,634, Arsenal had 4,979, while Chelsea had 4,208. But listen to this. But Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton, United, and Tottenham had more touches in the opposition penalty area than Chelsea. And guess where they are? They were above us. Man City, second. Arsenal, first. Liverpool, I think, eighth. Newcastle, fifth. Brighton, sixth. Man United, third. And Tottenham, fourth. We are 10th, and they are above us. And they have more touches in the opposition area than Chelsea. Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. Guess what? Chelsea are currently without to win in the last 5 Premier League games, with draws against Liverpool 0-0, Fulham 0-0, and West Ham 1-1, followed by defeats to Southampton and Spurs. So the last 5 Premier League games, yeah, we haven't won. And guess what? In that time, we've only scored 1 goal, yeah, since our last 5 games. Ever since we beat Crystal Palace, we scored 1 goal. And guess what? We've only scored 1 goal in February. And who was the goal of the month in February for the men's team? João Felix against West Ham. Only 1 goal scored in this month. This month is coming to an end and we've only scored 1 goal. That is pure abomination and pure pathetic, and that's absolutely ridiculous. This is why I told you guys in my match reaction that this cannot continue. This really cannot continue. We've been lacking goals, but this one is even worse. Only 1 goal in February. So guess what? Are we going to score no goals in March? Is that what's going to happen? Does Tobani really want that to happen? And I guess what? He came to the game yesterday and he looked stressed. But he still gave Graham Potter time. How can you be that stressed when you go to a Tottenham game which you've lost to and still give Graham Potter time? Like, honestly, Tobani, use your sense. Use your brain. If you don't want this to happen and you cannot let this continue, sack Graham Potter, terminate his contract, let him resign, call him, and call him in the morning and tell him to go. Because this shows you that he cannot do it for Chelsea. He really cannot. It's simply unbelievable. The last five Premier League games, which we had three draws and two losses. And we only scored one, yeah, at that time. We only scored one. Because it was 0-0 against Liverpool, 0-0 against Fulham, 1-1 against West Ham, 1-0 defeat against Southampton, and 2-0 defeat against Spurs. So this shows you that even the new players that we signed, yeah, when the Giant transfer window has ended, we scored one goal, three draws, and two defeats. No wins in that. So even Graham Potter with the new players, still he hasn't got a win. The likes of Enzo Fernandez, Madueke, Mudryk, Felix, Dani Fofana, Badiashile. No wins, yeah, ever since they signed for Chelsea. Well, Enzo Fernandez, sorry. Ever since Enzo Fernandez signed for Chelsea, he hasn't got to win. It's only Felix, Badiashile, I'm not sure Mudryk, but something like that. But Enzo Fernandez, big summer tries to win your record signing, but guess what? Still hasn't got a win. It's because of Graham Potter. Yeah? And that's why I said that I feel sorry for the new players. Because why would you come to Chelsea when you could have gone to Manchester United, also Man City? Because they're playing better football. They'll guarantee you Champions League next season and win a trophy. If you if you want that to happen, go to those teams rather than Chelsea. It's good that they come to Chelsea, but if I was a player, I'd rather pick a team here that plays better football, guarantee me to lift a trophy and play in the Champions League, because Chelsea are not doing it for me. They really aren't. So like I said, I feel sorry for the new players, man. I really do. I really do. And there's a one more. Yeah, look, sorry. It's their longest one without a Premier League game since, well, November, when they drew against Brentford and Manchester United. They lost against Brighton, also Newcastle. So this is the exact same thing in November. Yeah? But you have to go to for a decade ago for the last similarity bleak one out, when Chelsea ended up a 7-match winless streak that ended with a 3-1 win at Sunderland and then an 8-1 win against Aston Villa. Yeah? So so this one, so this 2012, 2013 is worse, but this one is even worse, sir. Yeah? Because I don't know where the winners are going to come from. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. This one, yeah, is going to be worse than 2022/2023. But at least in that season, yeah, we've won the Europa League, and we've been in the and we finished in the top four. This one is completely different. We're in the title race, no top four, no trophy. Yeah. This season will be a worse season than that 2012 and the 2015 to 16 season. This will be even worse. So yeah, so let that sink in. And guess what? In news that there's no relevance today, over-promoted Roberto Di Matteo has left each other in the middle of that Willis one had to be replaced by Rafa Benitez. Well, guess what? I'm not sure if Rafa Benitez is available, and Roberto Di Matteo, I'm not sure if he's the manager for any club in Europe. So there you go. So that's it. Will I take Roberto Rafinha Benitez? No, absolutely not. Because I don't think it would make Chelsea to the next level unless you can prove me wrong, which I doubt that. And the last stat is that Chelsea have just 31 points after 24 games. So guess what? So let me calculate this. So out of 62 points, I believe. No, 72 points, I think. Yeah, 72 points. We've only got 31. 31. And 72 minus 31 equals 41. 41. So there you go. That's, you know, which puts them cursed for 49 points in all. 49. And guess what? Our mark this season is to get 40 points. But are we going to do it under this manager? No. We are close to the relegation than we are to the top four. 10 points out of the relegation zone, while 14 points out of the top four. Which one is worse? Relegation. Relegation. So that's all I got to say. So this stack is ridiculous. And let me show you another one that I got from ESPN. If I can get this up. No, no, no. Here we go. This is from ESPN. In the last 344 minutes, no goals in all competitions. We have failed to score 10 of our last 15 games. 10, you know. Hey, and look at this. This is even worse. Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins have scored as many Premier League goals as Chelsea since November the 1st, which is 6. They have scored more goals than Chelsea, which is true. It is spot on. And I mentioned Haaland, so I'm not going to mention that one. One win in 11 games in all competitions. That was against Crystal Palace. And I also mentioned that before. We still got one win in 2023, which is about a month ago. So this tells you that this is pure relegation form. And if it wasn't for those wins against Crystal Palace, Wolves, let's see, maybe Tuchel beating Everton, all that stuff, we'll be in the bottom 3. As I'm telling you this right now, we will definitely be in the bottom 3. So we're lucky here that teams below us are still bad. But guess what? As Villa aren't. They're on the same points as Chelsea, 31. So if they win the next game and we lose against Leeds United, they'll be above us. And let me tell you this right now. If Chelsea lose the next 4 Premier League games and now the teams catch up, by next month, in April, we'll be in the bottom 3. So in order for that to happen, we need to get 40 points. We're not going to do this under Graham Potter. No, we can definitely do this under interim manager. And that's another thing why I want him to go. Because he's not going to get the wins in the next couple of games. And he's going to take us down, 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 and down. Like I predicted during before the World Cup. I told you guys, if Chelsea continue to play like this under Graham Potter, which is not winning, not scoring goals, we're going to be in a relegation zone. The stats are going to be pure relegation, and we're going to get lower and lower and lower. So if we don't win against Leeds United and Aston Villa win the next game, they'll be above us. The next game is at Leicester City. If we don't win and the other team does, we'll be below 11th. And after that is the game against Everton at Stamford Bridge, where they haven't beat us there. They haven't got a really good win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, but I know they'll beat us. So if we lose that one, we'll be either further down the table. So this is why I want Graham Potter to go, because he'll take us down, down, and down. And that's why I need Todd Boehly to do me a big favour. If you really want Graham Potter to stay for next season, then do it. But all you've got to do is do what Graham Potter says. Because these are not his Chelsea players. He didn't want Enzo Fernandez. He didn't want all those players. So if you want Graham Potter to be like Mikel Arteta, do what they did. Tell Graham Potter which players he wants him to go, which players that he wants Todd Boehly to sign that can fit his system. Then you'll see that Graham Potter could be like Mikel Arteta this season. But if Todd Boehly don't do those things and Ukuman don't do those things, then next season is going to be even worse than this. I'm not sure which season is going to be worse, this season or next season. I really don't know. But all I know, Graham Potter is not the next best thing for Chelsea. He's not a league manager, and he's worse than any other manager in Chelsea's history. Win percentage is 30. Those stats I told you, ridiculous and abomination, pure relegation, and this cannot continue. So there's the reason why I want Graham Potter to go, because he ain't it for Chelsea. Making changes, in the starting lineup, putting players in the one position, making subs too late, whenever we go a goal down or a 2-0 down. Press conferences, making excuses, post-match interviews, talking about managers. You say, that's life, it is what it is, the players get it all. Like, talking absolutely nonsense. Like I said, the only thing I feel sorry for him is the death threats. That should never happen. But other than that, he should still leave the club. He should still leave. And I hope Todd Boehly watches this video, explains why I said that, and hope he gets it. Because if he don't, like I said, the balance will come out early on, and you have no choice but to do what the fans says. Because all of us Chelsea fans expect Chelsea to be in the title race, win a trophy, and maybe do one in Champions League too. We are better than this. We are so are. But Graham Potter is not making better. He's making things worse. And if he still stays for the job, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's what Tony not boldly needs to realize. Things will get 100% worse before it gets better. So if he wants to change that from top to bottom, everything needs to change. The players, some their players need to go. The manager needs to go, and then maybe the recruitment needs to do better. The medical team needs to do better. Then you'll see that Chelsea are back the way they were before Abramovich was sanctioned. So there you go. That's all I need to say on this one. So Todd Boehly, if you want to prove the Chelsea fans I want to be the best owner for Chelsea, then do what I want you to do and the other fans want you to do. And if you can do that, well done. But if you don't, you're in serious trouble, mate. You really, really are. So there you go. Right, guys, that has got to be the longest video I've ever done. 40, about close to 46 minutes since I've done it. So this feels like a podcast or like close to like a 50-minute video, which I've never done. So, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And if you did, let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with everything I said. Do you still stick with Graham Potter or do you want him gone? Let me know. But I know most of you Chelsea fans want him gone. So you're just like me because this cannot continue. We're tired of this. We want to see Chelsea perform better. We want to see wins. We want to see goals. We want to see that stuff. So I know all of you Chelsea fans want Graham Potter out. So yeah, but if you still Graham Potter in, then give me a reason. Give me one good reason because, like I said, I've got many reasons why I want Graham Potter to stay. I wanted to back him, but after losing to Southampton, it was unacceptable. Then losing to Spurs, which we never done at White Hart Lane, is sackable offence. So that's why I want him to go. So yeah. So let me know if you want Graham Potter out or you still give him time and all that stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys do that. Yeah, so those are the reasons I'm going to put it out. So that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Smash the subscribe button if you're new. Click the bell notification on every end of my YouTube content. And make sure you hit the share button because so that you guys can comment on and give your final thoughts on this video and yeah, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been a long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, see you guys very soon. And as always, up the Chels. Graham Potter out. That is it. That's all I've got to say. So, peace, guys. Take care. And I'm out of here.